Paul Dioen here for Law School Success, Frequently Asked Questions and Questions You Should Ask. We're making this series of videos for a simple purpose to give you a solid foundation of what you need to do in law school to become successful. We will save you time, money, and effort, and we always promise to be completely truthful with you in everything that we convey to you and the information and secrets that we talk about. Law school can be difficult, law school can be hard, or law school can be very easy. Don't make it hard on yourself. You're in the right place to become a law school success. Let's get started. Questions you should ask number 5. What is the best way to memorize the law for law school? We're going to talk about the open book con. We're going to talk about how it takes 6 hours to internalize the typical law school definition, the process of reading, writing, speaking, and comparing, and the 5-minute sessions through the day. What is the best way to memorize the law for law school? Don't fall for the open book con. Profs will tell you, oh, don't memorize the damn thing. It's going to be an open book test. Well, that's great. If it's an open book test and you can take the books home and you come back a week later, fine. Don't memorize anything because you have a whole week to figure it all out. But that's not how the tests are given. It's going to be an open book test, but then you can open up your book and you've got 3 hours to answer 3 questions. How are you going to be spending your time? You're going to be spending your time looking things up in your books or in your notes or paging through your notes. You're in trouble. Now, there is an advantage on an open book test. If you've got 90% of the law down pat, that extra 10%, you can put that on one page, and you could very easily reference that during the exam because you know exactly where everything is. So you can reference that definition that you're having a little bit trouble with at the end of the semester, or you can reference the material you need to make sure that it's right, but that only takes a second or two. We're not talking about not memorizing anything. We're talking about imperfect memorization at that point. So you're 90% of the way there. An open book test will actually help you. All right. But if you haven't ever started, you're finished before you've even begun if you haven't started to actually memorize the law big time. Now, it takes 6 hours to internalize the typical law school definition. That's over a 6-hour period. What do you have to do this? You have to read the definition, of course. You have to write it. You have to speak it. And you have to compare what you should have written or spoke to what you should have said. Okay, so the comparison part, which is self-testing, is extremely important. And acronyms are extremely important. We've got lots of them in our materials. We've got BARM, burglary, arson, rape, robbery, murder, mayhem, child molestation, or kidnapping for the felony murder rule. We have PINs for consideration, pre-existing, illusory, nominal, surrendering, bearing a legal right. We have ROCKER, rejection, operational law, counteroffer, conditional offer, expiration, revocation, direct, both, indirect. Acronyms are very important when you start memorizing things. So when you're doing your reading, you should organize things in acronyms, you write the stuff down constantly, you speak it, and you compare it. And how do you do this during this 6 hours? You take 5-minute sessions throughout the day, and it's important that they be 5-minute sessions because on average, the average law school exam has 20 issues, 10 split on 2 sides. Okay, you argue both sides, you get all 20. All right, so these 5-minute sessions are important because the speed and the velocity at which this information comes out and how you learn it is extremely important, particularly when you're taking a timed law school examination. So, what's the free time that everybody has during the day? If you're driving or commuting to law school, you got lots of free time when you're driving or commuting. You should be talking to yourself, okay? You should be speaking the definitions out loud as you drive. Even if you're only driving for 10 or 15 minutes, that's enough time to speak 2 or 3 definitions out as you go along. And again, every time you write it down or you speak it, you have to self-test yourself. You have to compare what you should have written down to what you should have spoken. So you're constantly doing these tests all during the day, during these 5-minute sessions. So you pick up 5 minutes before class, 5 minutes after class. And what we find is the most important time for memorization is class time. When the class drifts off point, when it goes into war stories, when it goes into things that have absolutely nothing to do with the law that you're discussing about, what are you going to be doing during that class time? You're going to be sitting in the back of the class. You're going to shut your mouth. You don't need to be taking notes. And what are you going to do? You're going to write down what the law, all the law that you know, and then you're going to compare it to what you should have known. And then you're going to study the things and read for a few more minutes on the things that you missed, and you're going to do it all over again. During the average class time of an hour, you should easily be able to test yourself 30 minutes. Easy. I've never met a class that's ever done better than 30 minutes. So half the time that you're in class, you should be self-testing yourself about the law that's being discussed in class. Now, if you have a life, okay, if you have children, if you're older and you had children, if you have partners in your life, you have a wife, you have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, okay, a husband, it's important to get them involved. This is a way to get them involved in your law school education because there's all kinds of things that you need to actually stand there and have someone ask you, what is an offer? And naturally, they've got the definition, they're staring at it, and they want to hear you say it. If you have teenage children, this is the best way to stay connected with them during law school. Plus, it's also important for them too because they actually learn vast amounts of information. Same with your partners, okay, your significant others. You have the ability to have them participate in your education, okay? Law school is very, very hard the first 4 months. Instead of them complaining that you don't spend any time with them, have them help you memorize this law. And of course, also if you're in a good study group, the same thing too. A good study group will follow these things about read, write, speak, and compare. Real simple. So don't fall for the open book con. It takes 6 hours to internalize the typical law school definition. Use the memorization process of read, write, speak, and compare. And then acronyms, of course, are extremely important, make things easy. And then use your 5-minute sessions throughout the day. Use the time that you have during the day and engage other people around you that are capable of helping you to memorize all this inane information that you have to know. Paul D. Owen, Law School Success, frequently asked questions and questions you should ask. Thanks for listening to the lecture. Hope we conveyed some valuable information to you to save you time, money, and effort. Go to the site at www.bsmsphd.com. You can get all the rest of the lectures for free by just subscribing, and we even have some free offers for you for if you're a 1L law student. So go to the site at www.bsmsphd.com, sign up, get the rest of your lectures for free and some free product. Paul D. Owen, Law School Success. You've come to the right place.